Aloha everyone, this is Cullah Hale from Destination Thrills, and I'm here with my review of Valravn at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Valravn is a B&M dive coaster. With a height of 223 feet, it's actually one of the tallest dive coasters in the world. It features a drop of 214 feet straight down, and what's cool about the drop is that it holds you for about 3 seconds before actually sending you down. What is unique about dive coasters is their seating arrangement. Valravn features 3 rows per train with 8 seats per row. So many times you get a seat that is not over the coaster track. After going down the 214-foot drop, you hit a top speed of 75 miles per hour. You then go through 3 inversions, an Immelman, a dive loop, and a 0G roll. The coaster also features a track length of 3,415 feet. Now, most dive coasters don't really feature much after the first drop. Usually you go through one giant Immelman, maybe a second drop, and then you kind of weave your way back to the station. What's nice about Valravn is it features a little bit more with that. Like we mentioned earlier, it has 3 inversions. It also has a mini airtime hill and a second drop after the mid-course brake run. Because of this, you get a full experience from this dive coaster, which is different than SheiKra, Griffon, and other dive coasters out there. So let's talk about the ride experience. First of all, you go up this massive lift hill, and it's got this really sharp angle, so it's really cool going up and looking straight into the sky. As with all of the coasters at Cedar Point, you get a great view of Lake Erie. Valravn's view is actually really special because not only do you get a view of Lake Erie, but you also get a view of how high up you are and a view straight down of the ground. It's pretty cool. Valravn for sure is a front seat coaster for me. After staring at the ground for 3 seconds, hanging over the drop, you plummet straight down. It kind of gives you, I wouldn't say it's severely like it, but it kind of gives you that little drop tower sensation where you get those butterflies in your stomach. You get a little taste of that as you head toward the ground. Then you hit a massive Immelman loop. This one doesn't really do much for me as with most Immelman loops, but it's a cool feature to the ride. Then you go through this turnaround up into the mid-course brake run. This part was actually a great surprise and possibly my favorite part of Valravn, the second drop. It's not as tall as the first one, but you don't stop before it. You get momentum going into this drop, and it gives you some great airtime, especially in the back seat, but you still get that same airtime in the front seat of this ride. It's really cool. Then you actually have what I like to call a layout. I've ridden SheiKra before, and after those moments, the coaster was pretty much done. Valravn, not so much. You then glide up into a dive loop, and then you come out of it into a slow inline twist 0G element. It's really cool. It gives you that same hang time that you do on some wing coasters, like the ending of Thunderbird, or you can even think of Banshee's really slow inversion at the end. As you turn out of this element, you go up into a mini airtime hill. It doesn't really give you that much airtime, but it's a little fun element, and it's better than just a straight piece of track in my opinion. Then you go up into the brake run, and your experience is finished. Yes, it's a little bit short, but that's kind of how dive coasters are created. They're really specialized to focus on the first drop. Everything else is just an add-on. If there was one critique of the coaster, it would be that. It just needs to be a little bit longer. But, like I said, that's what dive coasters do. Going into this ride, my expectations were really low because I wasn't a big fan of SheiKra. Now, in SheiKra's defense, I only had one ride on it, and it was in a middle seat. It also had a bunch of wasps flying around me, and I didn't like that one bit. Valravn I got to do twice. I got to do a front seat and a back seat, and I thought it was so much fun. It was a lot more fun than I remembered SheiKra being. So needless to say, this surpassed my expectations, and it's one of my favorite coasters at Cedar Point. So let's look at how I rate this ride. For intensity, it's not the most intense coaster out there, but it's certainly by no means a weak ride. I would give it a 3. The first drop is pretty cool, and like I said, the second drop really gets you out of your seat. Next is fun, and just for the fact that you sit up at the top and hang over alone makes it a fun ride, and then the fact that there's a whole experience after it, in my opinion, I would give Valravn a 4.5 for fun. I could continuously do this ride and have a great time with it. Now let's look at uniqueness. There is a decent amount of dive coasters in the world, so it's not the most unique ride, but for its style and for its model, it's got a pretty unique layout. So I'll go middle ground with this one and give it a 3 for uniqueness. Now let's look at comfort. Valravn features the new generation vest restraints provided by B&M. You see these on their wing coasters and Banshee. Now, a lot of people hate these restraints, and I've had my own issues with them on coasters like X-Flight and Gatekeeper. But to be honest, the vest restraints on Valravn didn't seem to bother me that much. The track was also butter smooth, which added to my comfort rating, so I would give it a 4 for comfort. Now let's look at duration. Duration, this coaster is going to take a little bit of a hit on. Yeah, I feel like I got a full experience out of it, but it definitely wasn't near the full experience like a Maverick, Steel Vengeance, or a Voyage. So for this, I'm going to give it a 3.5 on duration. There just could have been a little bit more elements to be the perfect duration for this coaster. So what do I give this coaster overall? Well, my rating might shock you. For those who follow this channel, you probably know that I like coasters with rapid transitions and severe airtime. But occasionally I am a sucker for some of these B&M coasters that just are really fun, and Valravn's one of those. It's kind of like a Diamondback for me. Yeah, it's not the most intense coaster I've been on. It doesn't throw me out of my seat and throw me all over the place, but it's just a fun ride, and the drop part alone is what makes this coaster so fun for me. So, overall, I'm going to give it a 4. Now the big debate is this the best dive coaster out there? Well, in my opinion it is, but I've only ridden 2 dive coasters, SheiKra and Valravn. There are a lot of really cool looking dive coasters overseas, so I probably don't have the best opinion on this matter. So, I'm going to let you guys determine. Do you think Valravn is the best dive coaster out there? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, like this video if you like it, and give us a subscribe if you want to see more theme park content. I'm Kalahil Benz from Destination Thrills. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.